All right, hey everyone, it's March 14th, the year 2017. We are continuing our efforts to learn about Schuyler Barbeau, Patriot political prisoner, been in FDC SeaTac prison, federal detention center, for over a year. Hasn't even had trial yet. He is a patriot, but they're making him out to be a domestic terrorist. So Outpost of Freedom, Gary Hunt, has 6 articles on him. We've worked our way through 3 of them. We're going to read the 4th one today. Let's get started. Okay, this was written on December the 20th, the year 2015. Outpost of Freedom by Gary Hunt. As we continue to investigate the curious circumstances that on December the 6th led to an arrest, the search of a car and the search of a ranch some 280 miles away, in what appears to be a simultaneous effort, more revelations come to light. Why were the search warrants served on the Ank Ranch? What did that have to do with Schuyler Barbeau? Was the government grasping for straws? The affidavit of Special Agent Michael Baldino in support of the search warrants provides additional insight into what led to those events of December the 6th, 2015. The affidavit starts out nearly identical to the criminal complaint. However, we see some deceptions revealed in the second document. For example, in the CC paragraph 5, we find on June the 5th, 2015, the Seattle division of the FBI received information from a confidential human source regarding potential threats to law enforcement made by Washington State resident Schuyler Pyatte Barbeau. This would lead one to believe that Oliver Murphy approached the FBI. However, in paragraph 9 of BA, we find on June the 5th, 2015, the Seattle division of the FBI received information from another law enforcement agency that resulted in FBI Special Agent Daniel Bennett contacting a confidential human source regarding potential threats to law enforcement made by Washington State resident Schuyler Pyatte Barbeau. So now we see that there was another law enforcement agency involved, although we have no idea what led them to Murphy. However, the footnote to the superscript provides even more insight. When we read the footnote 1, the FBI has paid the confidential human source for an involvement in this matter over $3,500. That's right, Oliver Murphy sold his friend Schuyler Barbeau out to the government. So now we have to evaluate whether what Murphy told the government is truthful, partially truthful, or fabricated. After all, that is an incentive to make sure that the feds get what they want so that he gets his paycheck. Interestingly, as well, in the CC criminal complaint, it appears that Baldino has personal knowledge, where in the BA we find that S.A. Bennett is the contact with Murphy. So we can see from the beginning that they are just throwing words on paper in order to achieve their rather nefarious ends, and that they bought a source to go after Schuyler Barbeau. Interestingly, in criminal complaint paragraph 13 and again in BA paragraph 14, we find the CHS, confidential human source, Oliver Murphy, met with Barbeau and informed him that he or she had a buyer interested in purchasing his SBR, short barrel rifle, for the $5,000 Barbeau had asked for previously. Rather ironic in that on December the 5th, 2015, Murphy's Facebook page shows that he started a relationship with Sam Erickson, which is confirmed on Sam Erickson's Facebook page. However, the government was simply trying to protect the gender of the informant, but rest assured we will out the informants as they arise. The criminal complaint ends with paragraph 17, which is the same as BA paragraph 18. This is a rather interesting statement, as I spoke with the person that was with Barbeau the day, November the 22nd, that he dropped the case off at Murphy's house. The case contained a receiver and 2 barrels. The paragraph tells us that ATF Special Agent Claudia Grigori inspected the SBR short barrel rifle at the FBI's office in Seattle and certified that the barrel was less than 16 inches in length. However, they don't mention that there were 2 barrels, nor do they say whether they had to affix one of the barrels to the receiver to make that statement. Not very professional, but it does appear to suit their purpose of demonizing Barbeau to omit such a crucial detail. The affidavit, however, continues, and this is where the justification for the raid at the Ank Ranch begins. On December the 4th, this is the day before Oliver developed a relationship with Sam, in a recorded phone conversation, Murphy asked if the Anks knew how much more Barbeau was getting from the sale of the parts. Was this an effort to try to implicate the Anks in criminal activity? Barbeau's answer, they know what's going on, is rather innocuous. But it just might help to demonize the Anks for having a friend like Schuyler Barbeau. Murphy asked if the Anks knew how much money Barbeau was getting for the sale of the parts. Okay. In paragraph 20, the affidavit states that, according to Murphy, Barbeau said that he had stolen some blasting caps and detonation cord from the U.S. Army National Guard unit. In paragraph 21, FBI Special Agent Bennett spoke with the National Guard on June 29th and 30th. This then would be the first investigation after Barbeau came onto the government radar June the 5th. However, they do not receive any information regarding the possible theft at the National Guard until October the 19th, over 4 months later. I suppose that the FBI has some mystical crystal ball with which to determine the course of an investigation before the investigation develops information, or they are lying or otherwise purposely excluding something. However, it is interesting that in contacting the National Guard, they find that Barbeau had an honorable discharge from both the Marines and the National Guard. Over the course of his 8 years of service, they do point out that he was a combat engineer, suggesting that he would know what to do with blasting caps and detonation cord. However, whether they asked or not, they do not tell us if any blasting caps or detonation cord was missing. If none was missing, it would be a blow to the story. If some was missing, then surely they would have so stated. Either that or their investigative skills are lacking. So we have no definitive proof that what might just be bragging, I stole some blasting caps and a detonation cord, is supported by any evidence that any blasting caps or detonation cord is missing. However, if you want to get your man, why quibble over facts or details? On November the 8th, Barbeau, Carrie Ank, and Murphy met at a restaurant. According to the BA, Murphy was wired for sound. However, rather than providing quotations from the recording, we get Bennett's interpretation, which does not let us know the context of anything said or whether all present were privy to what was being discussed. Then, after the meeting, Murphy informs Bennett that they were planning to retrieve a bag from the woods. Why would Murphy have to inform Bennett if Bennett has a recording of all that transpired? Bennett does provide some quotes, but the context that would suggest knowledge as opposed to observations demonstrates that deficiency is indicative of inability. After the meeting, incompetence on the part of law enforcement is demonstrated when Barbeau and Ank left the restaurant. The tail apparently lost contact with the vehicle. Later that same evening, the FBI observed Ank in the car, but does not mention Barbeau. 27 minutes later, the vehicle was gone. Boy, that's twice in one night that law enforcement and or FBI could not keep track of a vehicle. No wonder that Muslims can shoot up Christmas parties even though they are on the watch list. The BA continues with superfluous information, mostly to try to establish that Barbeau was a tough guy. The end result was that the search warrants were issued on December the 5th and executed the following day. Perhaps most interesting, however, is the fact that the search yielded nothing that led to any additional charges being filed against Barbeau. The original charges based upon the arrest warrant for tax violations are all that the government can prosecute Schuyler on. They have simply gone through these additional exercises to be able to demonize him by referencing stolen federal property, which they cannot find and cannot even prove that it was stolen in the first place. The accusation of possessing a machine gun based upon no direct observation, only upon a conversation included in the BA, and most recently the effort to describe Schuyler as a domestic terrorist. Oliver Murphy. Since we have a little more paper, let's look at the primary witness against Barbeau. Oliver Murphy has been described by friends and family as a very close friend of Schuyler. I have been told that Schuyler began suspecting Murphy of being an informant about a week before he was arrested. That would also be about a week after Schuyler delivered the case of firearms parts to Murphy, November the 22nd. Perhaps this played out when Schuyler contacted Murphy to ask for the $5,000 purchase price, and Murphy said that he didn't have it. Then Schuyler probably said that he wanted the parts back, but Murphy would have to say that he didn't have them because he had given them to the FBI. So no money, no parts. That might raise Schuyler's suspicion of Murphy's role in what was soon to play out. There is more to Murphy, which has been alluded to. Previously, Murphy had a wife and 3 daughters, according to sources, when he was first identified as confidential human source. There was a concern that he may have been coerced by the FBI, charged with a crime, and made to plea out so that he could continue to provide for his family. However, with the amount, $3,500, that he was paid as an informant, which is what the FBI refers to as confidential human source, and his new relationship, that theory, speculation apart. As can be readily understood, Murphy had abandoned family life for a new and unfortunately rather common queer relationship. Rather than concern for family, perhaps needing money to start a new life was instrumental in Murphy turning on his old friend. You know, I don't understand who this Sam Erickson guy is. Murphy was Schuyler's friend, and Murphy turned on his friend for $3,500. But who's this Sam Erickson guy? Says Murphy started a relationship with Sam Erickson. Okay, well, I don't understand all the players just yet, but we're still learning. So anyway, that's the article. We will continue to work our way through this. Oliver Murphy appears to be the confidential human source that ratted out Schuyler, according to this article. And we just got to find out what Sam Erickson's role is in all this. He's got his picture down here, but I don't understand what he has to do with this. But anyway, all right, that's it for now. God bless. Take care.